Norse mythology is full of fascinating gods, each with their own unique stories and attributes. Hello people, welcome to Stories, Curiosities and Mysteries. Today we will see some of the gods of Norse mythology, but before we start, do not forget to subscribe, activate the bell and leave a good like. It will help me a lot to continue. Well, without further ado, let's begin. Number 22, Nos, the jewel of Norse mythology, is one of the daughters of Freyja, the goddess of love, beauty and fertility, and Or. Her name, which means Treasure or jewel, reflects her extraordinary beauty and value. She is so beautiful that her name has become synonymous with all that is beautiful and precious. This association with beauty and value not only highlights her importance in mythology, but also underlines the deep appreciation that the Norse had for aesthetics and treasures. As the daughter of Freyja and Or, Nos belongs to a family of powerful and revered deities. Freyja, her mother, is one of the most important goddesses in the Norse pantheon, known for her role in war and love, as well as her ability to shapeshift and her mastery over magic. Or, her father, is an enigmatic figure, often associated with passion and desire. Number 21, Hefjun, the goddess of fertility and virtue, is mentioned in several sources of Norse mythology, including the Prose Edda, where she is described as a goddess of the Vanir and the Asir. Her name, which can be translated as Gibe or generous, reflects her role as a deity of fertility and abundance. In addition, Hefjun is known for receiving women who died as virgins, who became her servants in the afterlife. One of the most famous stories about Hefjun is the creation of the Danish island of Zealand. According to legend, the Swedish king Gifi promised Hefjun as much land as he could plow in one night. Hefjun transformed his 4 sons into oxen and plowed a large portion of land, which was then moved to the sea, forming the island of Zealand. She is a multifaceted goddess, associated with both fertility and virtue. Her ability to transform her sons into oxen and plow the land symbolizes fertility and creation. Furthermore, her role as protector of virgins underlines her connection to purity and virtue. In Copenhagen, the Jeften Fountain, sculpted by E. Anders Bundgaard in 1908, commemorates her legend and is a testament of her cultural significance. Number 20, Ran, the goddess of the sea and death. As a goddess of the ocean, Ran is both feared and respected by sailors, who offered sacrifices to her to ensure a safe journey. She is mentioned in several sources of Norse mythology, including the Eddas, where she is described as the wife of the sea giant Aegir. Her name, meaning robbery or rape, reflects her dangerous nature and tendency to catch unwary sailors in her nets. Ran is known for using a magical net to capture those drowning at sea, taking them to her underwater realm. Ran and Aegir have 9 daughters, known as the Wave Maidens, each representing a different aspect of the sea. These daughters, with names such as Iminglaeva and Tufa, personify the waves and currents, and are as feared and respected as their mother. She is a multifaceted goddess, associated with both life and death. Her magical net symbolizes the sea's power to give and take life, and her role as a collector of drowned souls connects her to the underworld. In Norse culture, the sea was seen as an unpredictable and dangerous force, and Ran personifies these aspects, reminding sailors of the need for respect and caution. Number 19, Ullr, the god of hunting and skiing, is mentioned in several sources of Norse mythology, including the Eddas, where he is described as a god skilled in the use of the bow and skis. His name comes from the Old Norse word ull, meaning glory or honor. This association with glory and honor reflects his importance in Norse culture, especially among hunters and warriors. Is the son of Sif and stepson of Thor, making him a member of the family of the Asir. Although his biological father is not mentioned in the primary sources, some theories suggest that he could be a giant or a minor divine figure. Ulf's relationship with Thor and Sif underscores his connection to strength and bravery, essential attributes for a god of hunting and skiing. Is known for his prowess in hunting and skiing, activities that were critical to survival in the Norse regions. Is often depicted with a bow and arrows, and is associated with forests and snowy mountains. His ability to move quickly over snow and his accuracy in archery make him an ideal protector for hunters and skiers. In Norse culture, he was invoked for success in hunting and protection during winter travels. Number 18, Hermod, the brave messenger of the Norse gods, is an intriguing figure in Norse mythology, known for his bravery and his role as a messenger of the gods. His name, meaning army boldness or brave warrior, reflects his fearless nature and willingness to face danger on behalf of the gods. He is the son of Odin, the supreme god, and Frigg, the goddess of marriage and motherhood. This relationship places him in an important position within the Norse pantheon, although his specific role often focuses on his bravery and ability to act as a messenger in critical situations. Hermod's most famous story is his journey to the underworld to try to rescue his brother Balder, who had been killed by a trick of Loki. After Balder's death, the gods were in mourning, and Hermod volunteered to travel to Hel, the realm of the dead, and negotiate his release. Breathing Odin's horse Sleipnir, Hermod rode for 9 nights through dark valleys until he reached the river Hol and crossed the bridge Hjarbru. Although Hel, the goddess of death, did not allow Balder to return immediately, Hermod's journey demonstrated his courage and determination. Number 17, Nanna, the goddess of purity and devotion, is mentioned in several sources of Norse mythology, including the Prose Edda and the Poetic Edda. Her name may derive from Old Norse and means brave or bold. This association with bravery reflects her emotional strength and ability to face tragedy with dignity. Nanna is the daughter of Nepra and wife of Balder, the god of light and beauty. Together, they make an ideal couple in the Norse pantheon, living in the glittering palace of Breidablik in Asgard. Nanna and Balder have a son, Forseti, who is the god of justice and reconciliation. Nanna's best-known story is her reaction to Balder's death. According to mythology, Balder was killed by a trick of Loki, who tricked HR into shooting him with an arrow made of mistletoe, the only thing that could hurt him. Devastated by her husband's death, Nanna died of grief and was placed alongside Balder on his funeral ship, which was then set alight and sent out to sea. Number 16, Forseti, the god of justice and peace, his name, meaning the one who presides or president, reflects his role as mediator and judge between gods and men. Forseti is the son of Balder, the god of light and beauty, and Nanna, the goddess of purity and devotion. Forseti resides in Glitnir, a palace with a silver roof and golden pillars that emit a brilliant light visible from afar. In Glitnir, Forseti listens to and resolves disputes, offering fair solutions that satisfy all parties involved. Forseti is known for his wisdom, eloquence, and ability to resolve disputes peacefully. Unlike Tyr, another god associated with justice but more focused on martial law, Forseti prefers mediation and reconciliation. His ability to find fair and equitable solutions makes him a symbol of peace and harmony. Number 15, Vidar, the god of silence and vengeance, his name may derive from Old Norse and means he who rules the forest or the warrior of the forest. This association with the forest reflects his connection to nature and his role as protector of the gods. Vidar is the son of Odin, the supreme god, and the giantess Hrid. This combination of divine and giant ancestry grants him extraordinary strength, which is one of his most notable attributes. Vidar is known for his silence and his ability to act decisively and without hesitation, making him a god of vengeance and justice. Vidar's most famous story is his role in Ragnarok, the end of the world in Norse mythology. According to prophecies, Vidar will avenge the death of his father Odin, who will be devoured by the wolf Fenrir. Vidar will kill Fenrir by ripping his jaw open with his incredible strength, using a magical shoe made from all the leather scraps humans have discarded over time. Number 14, Hodir, the blind god and his tragic fate known to be the blind god of darkness and winter. His story is marked by tragedy and manipulation. Hr is mentioned in several sources of Norse mythology, including the Prose Edda and the Poetic Edda. His name may derive from Old Norse and means warrior or fighter. This association with fighting reflects his role in one of the most tragic events in Norse mythology, the death of his brother Balder. Is the son of Odin, the supreme god, and Frigg, the goddess of marriage and motherhood. He is the brother of Balder, the god of light and beauty, and his relationship with Balder is central to his story. Despite his blindness, Hr is described as a strong and courageous god, though his fate is marked by manipulation and tragedy. The best-known story of Hr is his role in the death of Balder. According to mythology, Balder began to have dreams that foreshadowed his death. To protect him, his mother Frigg made all beings and objects in the world swear not to harm him, except for mistletoe, which she deemed harmless. Loki, the trickster god, discovered this omission and fashioned an arrow from mistletoe. During a game in which the gods threw objects at Balder, knowing that they could not hurt him, Loki tricked HR into shooting the arrow, thereby killing his brother. Number 13, Njord, the god of the sea and fertility, is a prominent figure in Norse mythology, known for his dominion over the sea, wind, and fertility. As one of the Vanir, Njord plays a crucial role in the lives of Norse sailors and farmers. His name may derive from Old Norse meaning strength or power. This association with strength reflects his ability to control natural elements, such as the sea and wind, and his influence on the fertility of the land. He is the father of the gods Freyr and Freyja, whom he fathered with his sister Nertus. This incestuous relationship is characteristic of the Vanir, a group of gods associated with fertility and nature. Following the war between the Vanir and the Aesir, Njord and his children were sent to live in Asgard as part of a hostage exchange to ensure peace. In Asgard, Njord married the giantess Skadi, though their marriage was marked by discord due to their different habitat preferences. He is known for his ability to calm storms and ensure safe voyages for sailors. He is often depicted as a peaceful and generous god, who bestows wealth and prosperity on those who worship him. His home, Enyo Atun, is a wooden palace located on the coast, symbolizing his connection to the sea and navigation. The sacred animals associated with Njord are the seagull and the swan, representing his dominion over the sea and the air. Number 12, Bolde, also known as Baldur, is a central figure in Norse mythology, known for his beauty, kindness, and purity. As the son of Odin and Frigg, Baldur is one of the most beloved and revered gods in the Norse pantheon. He is mentioned in several sources of Norse mythology, including the Prose Edda and the Poetic Edda. His name may be derived from Old Norse and means prince or lord. He is the son of Odin, the supreme god, and Frigg, the goddess of marriage and motherhood. He is married to Nanna, the goddess of purity and devotion, and together they have a son, Forseti, the god of justice. Baldur's best-known story is his tragic death. According to mythology, Baldur began having dreams that foreshadowed his death. To protect him, his mother Frigg made all beings and objects in the world swear not to harm him, except for mistletoe, which she considered harmless. Loki, the trickster god, discovered this omission and fashioned an arrow from mistletoe. During a game in which the gods threw objects at Baldur, knowing they could not hurt him, Loki tricked Acheiri, Baldur's blind brother, into shooting the arrow, thereby killing Baldur. Number 11, Nertus, the goddess of earth and fertility. Nerthus is mentioned in several ancient sources, including Tacitus' work, Hermania, which describes her cult and the rituals associated with her. Her name is related to the Germanic word Nerta, meaning fountain or holy spring. Although sources on Nerthus are limited, she is thought to be a deity of the Vanir, a group of gods associated with fertility and nature. Some scholars suggest that she might be related to Njord, the god of the sea, and his children Freyr and Freya, although these connections are not clearly defined in ancient sources. The cult of Nerthus was an important aspect of the religious life of the Germanic peoples. According to Tacitus, Nerthus was worshipped on a sacred island, possibly the Danish island of Funen. During rituals, an image of the goddess was carried on a sacred chariot, accompanied by priests and followed by the people in procession. These rituals included sacrifices and celebrations to ensure the fertility of the land and the prosperity of the community. Number 10, Idun, the goddess of eternal youth. Idun is mentioned in several sources of Norse mythology, including the Prose Edda and the Poetic Edda. Her name may derive from Old Norse meaning forever young. This association with youth reflects her crucial role in maintaining the vitality and immortality of the gods. She is the wife of Bragi, the god of poetry. Together, they represent the union of youth and creativity, two fundamental aspects in Norse culture. Although they are not mentioned to have children, Idun's best-known attribute is the golden apples she keeps in a magical chest. These apples have the power to grant eternal youth to the gods, ensuring that they do not age or lose their vitality. Whenever the gods begin to age, they bite into one of Idun's apples and regain their youth. This power makes Idun one of the most important and valued goddesses in Asgard. One of the most famous stories about Idun is her abduction by the giant Thiazi. According to the Prose Edda, Loki, the trickster god, was forced by Thiazi to lure Idun out of Asgard. Loki tricked Idun into believing that he had found some apples worth comparing with hers and took her to a forest, where Thiazi, transformed into an eagle, kidnapped her. Without Idun and her apples, the gods began to age rapidly. Eventually, Loki, with the help of Freyja, rescued Idun and returned her to Asgard, restoring the gods' youth. Number 9, Heimdall, the guardian of Asgard and the watcher of Ragnarok. Heimdall is mentioned in several sources of Norse mythology, including the Prose Edda and the Poetic Edda. His name may be derived from Old Norse and means the one who lights up the world. He is the son of 9 mothers, all of them daughters of the sea god, Aegir. This unusual ancestry grants him extraordinary abilities, such as unparalleled sight and hearing. He is said to be able to see hundreds of miles and hear the growth of grass. These abilities make him the perfect guardian to protect the Bifrost Bridge, which connects Asgard to Midgard, the realm of humans. One of Heimdall's most important roles is his involvement in Ragnarok, the end of the world in Norse mythology. According to prophecies, Heimdall will be the first to see the coming of the fire giants and other creatures that will attempt to destroy Asgard. To alert the gods, he will blow his horn, the Jolur horn, the sound of which will be heard throughout the 9 worlds. In the final battle, Heimdall will face Loki, the trickster god, and the two will kill each other. Number 8 is Skadi, the goddess of winter and the hunt. Skadi is mentioned in several sources of Norse mythology, including the Prose Edda and the Poetic Edda. Her name may derive from Old Norse and means harm or sorrow. She is the daughter of the giant Hasi, who was killed by the Aesir gods. To appease his anger and prevent his revenge, the gods offered her compensation, including a marriage to one of the gods. Skadi chose Njord, the god of the sea, although their marriage was not a happy one due to their different habitat preferences. Skadi preferred the snowy mountains of her home in Tremaine, while Njord preferred the shores of Eneoatun. Skadi's best-known story is her quest for revenge for her father's death. After Hasi was killed, Skadi armed herself and marched to Asgard to exact justice. The gods, fearful of her fury, offered her various forms of compensation. In addition to her marriage to Njord, Odin placed Hasiases in the sky as stars, and Loki, the trickster god, managed to make her laugh, thus completing the atonement. Number 7, Frey, the god of fertility and prosperity. Frey is mentioned in several sources of Norse mythology, including the Prose Edda and the Poetic Edda. His name means Lord or Master, reflecting his elevated status among the gods and his influence over fertility and prosperity. Frey is the son of Njord, the god of the sea, and the brother of Freyja, the goddess of love and beauty. E is the son of Njord and Nertus, and the brother of Freyja. This relationship places him in an important position within the Norse pantheon, as the Vanir are known for their connection to nature and fertility. Frey is married to Gerd, a giantess of great beauty, whose union symbolizes the harmony between the gods and giants. Frey is known for his ability to grant fertility and prosperity to the land and its inhabitants. E is associated with the sun, rain, and abundant harvests, and is revered by farmers and those seeking prosperity. Frey possesses several magical items, including the ship Skidbladner, which always has a favorable wind and can be folded and stored in a bag, and the boar Gullinbursti, which glows in the dark and can run faster than any horse. One of the best-known stories of Frey is his courtship with Gerd. According to mythology, Frey saw Gerd from afar and fell madly in love with her. He sent his servant Skirnir to convince her to marry him, offering her gifts and threats. Eventually, Gerd agreed and married Frey, symbolizing the union of fertility and prosperity with wild nature. Number 6, Frigg, queen of the gods and goddess of fertility known as Odin's wife and queen of the Aesir. Frigg is the goddess of the sky, fertility, marital love, the home, and motherhood. Frigg is mentioned in several sources of Norse mythology, including the Prose Edda and the Poetic Edda. Her name is derived from Old Norse and means beloved or wife. This association with love and marriage reflects her role as protector of married couples and family. She is the wife of Odin, the supreme god, and mother of Bolde, Hr, and Hermor. She is also stepmother to other major gods such as Thor, Heimdall, Tyr, Vidar, and Vali. Her home is Fensalar, a palace in Asgard known as the Swamp Hall. Frigg is accompanied by several minor goddesses, including Air, the goddess of healing, and her helpers Lin, Na, and Fuya. She is known for her wisdom and her ability to predict the future. However, unlike other gods, she never reveals what she knows, making her a mysterious and secretive figure. She is the only one, along with Odin, who is allowed to sit on the throne Lískalf and watch over the 9 worlds. Additionally, Frigg participates in the wild hunt, Asgard, alongside her husband. One of Frigg's most touching stories is the death of her son Balder. Balder began having prophetic dreams about his own death, leading Frigg to make all beings and objects in the world swear not to harm him. However, she forgot to include mistletoe, which allowed Loki, the trickster god, to fashion a mistletoe arrow and trick Hr into shooting it, thus killing Balder. Balder's death is a crucial event that marks the beginning of Ragnarok, the end of the world in Norse mythology. Number 5, Freyja, the goddess of love, beauty and fertility. Her name means lady in Old Norse, which highlights her prominent position among the gods. Freyja is the daughter of Njord, the god of the sea, and the twin sister of Frey, the god of fertility. She belongs to the Vanir, a group of gods associated with nature and fertility, although she lives in Asgard alongside the Aesir after the war between the two divine clans. Freyja is married to Or, a god whose name and characteristics are similar to those of Odin. Together they have 2 daughters, Nas and Gersemi, whose names mean Tresure. Freyja is known for her constant search for Or, who often disappears, and her tears of gold and amber symbolize her sadness and eternal love. Freyja is the goddess of love, beauty, fertility, war, and death. She is known for her falcon feather cloak, which allows her to transform and fly between the worlds. Additionally, Freyja is a master of seer magic, a form of sorcery that she taught to the Aesir. Her chariot is drawn by two giant cats, and she also possesses the necklace Brisingamen, a symbol of her beauty and power. Although Freya is primarily known as the goddess of love and fertility, she also has an important role in war and death. She is said to receive half of the warriors who have fallen in battle in her hall Folkvanger, while the other half go to Valhalla with Odin. Number 4, Tyr, the god of war and justice. His name derives from the Proto-Germanic Tywaz, meaning god. This association with divinity reflects his elevated status among the gods and his influence over war and justice. Tyr is the son of Odin, the supreme god, and Frigg, the goddess of love and fertility. Tyr is known for his bravery and commitment to justice. He is the god of war and honor, and is associated with law and order. One of his most famous stories is his sacrifice of his right hand to chain the wolf Fenrir. The gods, fearful of Fenrir's power, decided to chain him up, but the wolf only agreed if one of the gods would put his hand in his mouth as collateral. Tyr, knowing that he would lose his hand, agreed to the sacrifice to protect the other gods. Tyr's sacrifice is one of the best-known myths in Norse mythology. Fenrir, the giant wolf, was a threat to the gods, and Tyr was the only one brave enough to put his hand in the wolf's mouth while the other gods chained him up. When Fenrir realized that he could not free himself, he bit Tyr's hand off, leaving him one-handed. Number 3, Loki, the god of mischief and deception. His name may be derived from Old Norse and means to close or to block, reflecting his nature of causing trouble and conflict. Although he is the son of the giants Farbauti and Laufey, Loki is considered a member of the Aesir due to his close relationship with Odin and Thor. Loki is a central figure in Norse mythology due to his numerous familial relationships and his ability to shapeshift. He is married to Sigyn, with whom he has 2 sons, Narfi and Vala. Additionally, Loki is the father of several monstrous beings, including Fenrir, the giant wolf, Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent, and Hel, the goddess of the underworld. These creatures play important roles in Ragnarok, the end of the world in Norse mythology. Loki is known for his cunning and magical abilities. He can change shape and gender, allowing him to deceive and manipulate gods and mortals alike. Although he often causes trouble, Loki also helps the gods on several occasions, using his wits to resolve difficult situations. However, his unpredictable nature and tendency to cause chaos make him an ambiguous and often dangerous figure. One of Loki's most important roles is his involvement in Ragnarok. According to prophecies, Loki will lead the giants and their monstrous children in a final battle against the gods. This betrayal culminates in his confrontation with Heimdall, the guardian of Asgard, where the two will kill each other. Number 2, Thor, the god of thunder and the protector of Asgard. His name derives from the Old Norse RR, meaning thunder. This association with thunder reflects his mastery over storms and his ability to protect the gods and humanity from the forces of chaos. Thor is the son of Odin, the supreme god, and Tyr, the personification of earth. He is married to Sif, a goddess known for her golden hair, a symbol of fertility and harvest. Together they have several children, including Modi and Magni, who will inherit his strength and bravery. Thor also has a daughter named Thrud. Thor is known for his superhuman strength and his hammer Mjolnir, which is capable of destroying mountains and always returns to his hand when he throws it. In addition, he possesses a belt of strength called Mjolnir, which doubles his power, and iron gauntlets that allow him to wield his hammer. Thor is the protector of Asgard and Midgard, and his main mission is to defend the gods and humanity from giants and other evil creatures. One of the best-known stories of Thor is his confrontation with Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent. According to mythology, Thor and Jormungandr are destined to face each other at Ragnarok, the end of the world. During one of his adventures, Thor attempts to fish Jormungandr from the ocean, but the giant hammer cuts the line before Thor can kill her. This confrontation symbolizes the eternal struggle between order and chaos. Number 1, Odin, the supreme god and all-father. Odin is mentioned in several sources of Norse mythology, including the Prose Edda and the Poetic Edda. His name derives from the Old Norse in, meaning rage or inspiration. This association with fury and inspiration reflects his dual nature as the god of war and poetry. Odin is the son of Bor and Bisla, and is the leader of the Aesir, the main group of gods in Norse mythology. Odin is the husband of Frigg, the goddess of the sky and fertility, and together they have several children, including Boldi, Hr, and Hermor. He is also the father of Thor, the god of thunder, and several other important gods such as Vidar and Vali. His home is Valhalla, the great hall where he receives fallen warriors in battle, known as Einherjar. Odin is known for his wisdom and his tireless pursuit of knowledge. To gain wisdom, he sacrificed one of his as in Mimir's well and hung on Yggdrasil, the world tree, for 9 days and nights to obtain the runes, magical symbols that contain great power. In addition, Odin possesses several magical items, including his spear Gungnir, which never misses its mark, and his 8-legged horse, Sleipnir, which can travel through the 9 worlds. One of Odin's most important roles is his participation in Ragnarok, the end of the world in Norse mythology. According to prophecies, Odin will lead the gods in the final battle against giants and other forces of chaos. During Ragnarok, Odin will face the wolf Fenrir, who will ultimately kill him. This sacrifice underscores Odin's commitment to the protection of Asgard and the cosmic order. And these are just some of the gods of Norse mythology. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Until next time.